Oliver Grayson, better known as Kid Omni-Man, is more than just Mark Grayson's half-brother. As the son of Omni-Man, he was born into power, but his origins set him apart. Born on the planet Thraxa, Oliver inherited the incredible strength and abilities of his Viltrumite lineage, but his Thraxan heritage gave him unique traits that made him stand out from both his father and brother. But how did that shape his path? And was he ever truly in control of his destiny? Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more Invincible deep dives. Furthermore, let me know in the comments, what's your take on Kid Omni-Man? After Nolan's battle with Invincible and his departure from Earth, Omni-Man traveled to Thraxa, a planet inhabited by a species of insect-like beings. Upon discovering that Thraxans only live for 9 months, and that the oldest members of their species rule, Nolan reveals his extraordinary abilities and swiftly becomes the planet's new leader. Within a short time, Nolan dominates generations of Thraxans and eventually takes a Thraxan woman, Andressa, as his mate. Soon after, the two have a child, Oliver. As a child of both Viltrumite and Thraxan heritage, Oliver was born with purple skin, a trait viewed as a genetic flaw and weakness in Viltrumite culture. Knowing the Viltrumites would soon come for him, Omni-Man called Mark to Thraxa for help in fending off the approaching soldiers. After an awkward reunion and processing the reality of having an alien half-brother, Mark agreed to assist, driven by his desire to protect Oliver. As the Viltrumites arrived, Mark escorted Andressa and Oliver to safety. The father-son duo then clashed with the Viltrumites in a brutal battle that ravaged the planet, resulting in the deaths of many Thraxans and the near-total destruction of Thraxa. The Viltrumites proved too powerful for both Omni-Man and Invincible, with Nolan being taken prisoner while Mark was left critically injured. Mark stayed on Thraxa for a time to heal and assist in rebuilding, during which Andressa aged, while Oliver's growth began to slow, eventually resembling that of humans. Realizing that Oliver would outlive everyone he knew due to his accelerated aging, Andressa asked Mark to take him to Earth, in which they both end up returning to Earth. After arriving on Earth, Oliver was raised by Mark's mother, Debbie, who tried to raise him like any other child, just as she had done with Mark. However, it soon became evident that Oliver was far from ordinary. He continued to grow at an accelerated rate, developing several years in just a few months. Now a young man, Oliver became fixated on his brother's career as Invincible, ultimately becoming a hero and idolizing his older brother. Once Oliver's powers fully developed, it wasn't long before he was begging Mark to take him along on superhero missions. During a bank robbery involving Tether Tyrant and Magmaniac, Oliver snuck out and seized the chance to become a hero, helping Mark take down the villains. With his first fight under his belt, his older bro finally agreed to train him, eventually taking Oliver to see Art the Tailor, where he would receive his own superhero costume. Afterward, Oliver revealed that he had chosen Kid Omni-Man as his hero name, a decision that surprised both Art and Mark. Mark then sat him down and explained that their father had done terrible things on Earth, so it would take time before people no longer feared the name Omni-Man. The Maulers launched an attack on a nuclear base, and Invincible was dispatched to stop them. When Oliver saw the attack unfold on TV, he rushed to Mark's side and jumped straight into the fight. Mark, seeing his brother's inexperience, told him he wasn't ready and ordered him to leave. But before Oliver could follow the advice, the Mauler twins released a nuclear missile. Invincible raced to stop the rocket, telling Oliver to run, but he had other plans. He faced off against the Maulers on his own, managing to break one of the twins' jaws, but was soon tossed into the rubble and defeated. Oliver got back on his feet and without hesitation shot straight through one of the Mauler twins, tearing him in half. The other Mauler twin, horrified, begged for his life, but Oliver's response was swift. He punched him so hard that his head exploded. When Invincible ended up finding out what Oliver had done, he was enraged and reminded him that they don't kill because human life is precious. Which Oliver's perspective was different. He believed most humans were insignificant and didn't even value their own lives. The brutal deaths of the Mauler twins marked a turning point for Oliver. He was no longer the innocent kid he once was. He had become someone with immense power. Mark tried to have another conversation with Oliver, but his brother showed no remorse for his actions. Oliver struggled to relate to or even like the people of Earth. On his home planet, Thraxans lived short lives, and the greater good was always placed above individual desires, so Oliver viewed humanity as selfish and repulsive. Thraxans also remember every moment of their lives, so Oliver could recall even conversations from the moment of his birth. This revelation helped put Oliver's views and his similarities to Omni-Man into perspective. It became clear that Oliver had been shaped by his father much earlier than anyone had realized. With perfect recall of his life on Thraxa, Oliver remembered his father as a hero, someone who, from the moment he was born, had bravely fought the Viltrumite invaders who destroyed their planet. Later, Oliver apologized to Mark, admitting that maybe he was wrong, but still asked Mark to respect their differences. Mark agreed, and the two brothers shared a hug. However, Oliver's anger toward Invincible remained, and he hinted that his apology was insincere. This mirrored Omni-Man's perspective on humanity during his fight with Mark, where he declared that humans were meaningless animals, unworthy of being considered equals. Mark continued to train Oliver until Oliver finally embarked on his first solo mission. While patrolling the city, he crossed paths with Rampage, and their fight resulted in massive destruction, up to until Mark showed up and sent Oliver home. The tension between the brothers eased after that, but things took a turn when Angstrom Levy made his return. Levy launched an assault on Earth with an army of alternate Marks from across the multiverse. During the battle, Oliver fought against one of the alternate Marks and assisted his brother and Bulletproof in their final push against Levy. After Invincible captured Levy, Oliver urged Mark to kill him, and for a moment, Mark considered his brother's perspective. However, Levy managed to escape through a portal before Mark could finish what he started. Following Levy's attack, Oliver had to step up once again when Conquest arrived to assess Mark's progress in his mission to conquer Earth. As Conquest relentlessly pummeled Mark across the city, Oliver rushed in to help. He confronted Conquest, but the powerful Viltrumite crushed his face and nearly tore him in half before Mark could recover and save him. Thanks to his Viltrumite genetics, Oliver healed from his injuries quickly, and the experience brought the two brothers even closer. Mark finally saw his little brother as an equal and recognized that he wasn't always right. While Oliver continued as Kid Omni-Man for some time, he eventually adopted a new costume and upgraded to the name Young Omni-Man, before being called to join Mark and Nolan in the Viltrumite War. When it comes to his powers, Oliver possesses a range of unique abilities that set him apart from Invincible. While he shares all the powers of a Viltrumite, his strength is somewhat diminished compared to Mark or Nolan due to the Thraxan genetics, which are less compatible with his Viltrumite heritage. Though his powers are weaker, he compensates for this with an extraordinary ability to develop and learn at an accelerated rate, which allows his abilities to evolve much faster than his older brothers. This key distinction between Invincible and Kid Omni-Man makes Oliver a unique and essential member of the Invincible family, with the potential to even surpass Mark one day.